This split brings us World's Edge back into the ranked rotation, the most competitive map in Apex Legends played in almost every tournament since its inception in Season 3. But what do you do if you're playing on your own? Thanks for stopping by, my name is Ottr and I have solo queued to Predator and Master several seasons. Here's some tips to make the most out of your solo queue journey this split. First and foremost, remember that there is not much use in grinding kill points past the 7 KP mark, since that's all you need to max out your RP gain if you win the game. And every fight you take is inviting risks of getting third partied or just, failing to win. You usually won't have synergy with your teammates, and giving them chances to let you down in a team fight is simply not a good idea. In addition to that, because of how the system works, your teammates are likely to be several skill levels below you. See this other 3-stack video for more information on that. With that in mind, when landing, try to either land directly next to a team or next to two teams that are contesting each other. You want to try and take fights that you know you can win without having to rely on your teammates as much as possible. And you can cause the most damage as a solo player in the early game compared to later on. This allows you and your teammates to secure some KP leading into the rest of the game.
What? Rip crack. Please die. Thank you. On this side. Nice.
Since you want to avoid getting unwanted attention, if you do have the position, you really want to consider playing small. Playing small is done by either hiding inside of the position that you want and maybe setting an ambush, or just straight up standing in the windows and looking at your enemies. This is posturing, but you're not inviting them to do any damage. Playing on a rooftop or slightly extended to poke might be fun and engaging, but it invites enemy teams to catch you out with damage, or worse, you and your teammates getting picked. Playing small eliminates as much risk as possible, and if a team tries to force a fight, you can stall out until a third party rolls around. Bringing attention to yourself by poking teams running around backfires when the whole server will focus you, and unlike a fully pre-made team, you probably don't have the synergy to get out of such a situation alive. Discipline is key. So how do you position yourself in ranked World's Edge? What about as a weaker team consisting of solo queue players? Generally speaking, playing from center zone or endgame early on doesn't work out even for the strongest teams. That's because in a tournament setting, these teams are generally uncontested, but due to the chaotic and non-caring attitude in ranked lobbies, holding a position, especially a game-winning spot early to mid-game, only invites unwanted attention, pushes, third parties, and death. You want to position yourself adjacent to the game-winning position, enough out of sight that you won't get pushed, and with your back cleared and against the edge of the zone so you don't have any unwanted surprises. As the zone closes, you can then move in and eventually third party for the win. While holding a position and taking kills from it is strong, it does require relying on your teammates not to throw and to play the position properly, which is really risky. Your best means for securing kills, loot, position, and ultimately the win will be relying on third parties. Third parties is another situation where you can have the most influence as a solo player, as you don't need to cover from your teammates to make a move, because the other two teams are usually busy with each other. You don't need to do as much damage because you're already weak, with your pants down, etc, etc. When to properly engage is situational, but you usually want to wait until there's one or more knocks in a fight. Make sure that your back is clear, you don't spend too much time on the fight, and always have a foot out of the door in case another third party rolls up. For example, a Wraith can approach a third party with portal in hand. If another team shows up, you can call your team to fall back through said portal, and depending on how the fight plays out, you could even re-engage with the same portal and restart the third party process. Once again, don't let yourself get caught. If things go poorly and your teammates fall in a team fight, either for getting, outplayed or just not listening to your call, but especially if they don't listen, do not be a hero. Odds of winning a team fight when you are a man down are incredibly low, even more so when you don't have the information from your teammates and you are solo queuing. If one or both of your teammates fall, don't be a hero and try to clutch. Instead, instantly fall back and try to disengage. Counter banners gone, continue running, preferably towards the late game. Any wasted time circling around the banners will probably be met by another third party pinching you, or just shut down by the initial team still looting or camping the banners. Your teammates may hate you, but they should be fine with you running away if you made steps to secure KP early in the game already. Remember, you are the only constant in your own RP gain, and risking it for other teammates will lead to a net loss over a PlayStation. So you want to get out of there and play to rat. Playing to rat works differently depending on the game, the lobbies you're in, and a lot more. If there aren't many recon characters that can track you down, such as Seers, Bloodhounds, and more, you'll find more success setting up towards the middle of the zone or wherever the game will end. Knowing the spots comes down to experience and general knowledge, and you can learn them by keeping your eyes open or even watching streamers who are playing the game. If you have a cool rat spot, feel free to share it in the comments. I'm sure nobody will find you there. Always remember that unless you are a gaming warlord as a rat, you're probably never going to get a kill, so never greed and avoid shooting until it is absolutely necessary. If a team is running around your hiding spot, try to face the wall and just pray. Facing the wall actually makes you more difficult to recognize to the human eye if you're in the peripheral vision, and the odds of getting found are significantly lower. And remember, never move unless you absolutely have to. Overall, ratting will be your best tool to consistently gain RP or at least mitigate losses, and it will turn a net loss to a positive or just zero out your gains. And it's not something to sleep on. Something else you shouldn't sleep on is the like button, so make sure you hit that so this video can reach more people. So I've been kind of hinting this throughout this entire video, but as for your mindset, always remember that you have to rely on yourself. If things go bad, disconnect from your team and rat. Over the course of your PlayStation, there'll be many games, and some games might have horrible teammates. Those games are all about protecting your RP and your mental. So if you have to rat and turn that game into a zero gain, zero loss game, you have to do it. You save your energy for when you get a better team, and together you may be able to clutch out a win. If you waste your energy on guaranteed losses, you will grow tired and burn out. And when you get a stacked team, you won't be able to perform. Remember that you are the only constant factor in this PlayStation. Everything else, such as servers, teammates, enemies, change every single game. And it is your responsibility to make sure that the factor of you remains as good as it can be. This applies even more the higher ranked you are. If you are in competitor lobbies, finding other solo queue players is rare, and the matchmaking system eventually just ends up pairing you with diamond players or lower just to get a game going. When you get these teammates, the odds of getting anything better than a zero-sum game are small, and you should be playing for zero RP loss in the lobby. Unless your teammate is the best player on the team, if they put themselves in a bad spot and need saving, consider cutting your losses and move on, or let them die. Sticking out your own neck and getting yourself killed to save a worse player will backfire on the team as a whole, and you're passing the control and responsibility of your own RP gain to somebody else. With how matchmaking and stats work, over time this will lose you RP and will feel horrible. Identify when your teammates make a mistake beyond saving and prepare to move on. Again, climbing in solo queue means mitigating risk and evening out your odds and RP gain over a period of time. If you are still watching this late in the video, I'm gonna thank you for watching this long, and I will be giving you a little bit of a tip from the personal collection, because I've been praising playing passive, ratting, and hiding for RP, but I want to give you guys another tool which only works when you are in a fairly stacked lobby. This tool is called playing big. This will only work if there's teams around you and anyone rotating in is just looking for someone to set up and play for late game. Playing big is obviously the opposite of playing small, where you play big, you play loud, you're poking and shooting at your enemies. If they're rotating in, this may scare them off and give you space, and it will work even when you're one man down or even as a solo, because in the enemy's mind, why the hell would a solo be playing that way? If you sell the bluff well enough, the server will think you're a full team. I always use these tools when solo queuing in Apex Legends, and it was something I used when I solo queued to Predator. I recently started up the journey of solo queuing to Master this season, so if you want to catch that journey, it starts on a video right here.